It's the Judge John Hodgman podcast. Tyler in Milwaukee wants his wife Abby to keep all of 451 of his Blu-rays and DVDs after he's dead. Abby thinks they're trash. Who's right? Who's wrong? You're about to find out. But first, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, won't you? Let's go.
Welcome to the Judge John Hodgman podcast. I'm your humble autumnal guest, Bay Leaf Peeper, Monty Belmonte, sitting in for Jesse Thorne. This week, probate a Max court.
In a world where physical media has been replaced by ephemeral digital technology.
Oh boy, here we go.
Tyler still believes DVDs are,
the stuff that dreams are made of.
Oh no.
I wish I knew how to quit you, VHS. And Abby is mad as hell and she's not gonna take it anymore. Abby brings the case against her husband, Tyler. Tyler wants Abby to keep all 450 of his physical movies when he dies. If he dies, he dies. Tyler says,
go ahead, take my Babe 2 Pig in the City on Laserdisc.
But frankly, my dear, Abby doesn't give a damn. She isn't a movie person, and nobody puts Abby in a corner. She says this collection will be wasted with her. Hasta la vista, Blu-ray. She thinks Tyler's family and his little friend would enjoy the collection much more than she would. But Tyler is scared that the memory of him will be relegated to a long time ago and a galaxy far, far away. He thinks his vast selection of movies will be the best way for Abby to stay connected to him when he's on the other side. I see dead people. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who's good? Who's bad? Who's ugly? Only one can decide.
Oh.
Please rise as Judge John Hodgman enters the courtroom and presents an obscure cultural reference.
Humble autumnal guest, Bay Leaf Peeper, Monty Belmonte.
Yes.
I forgot that you are a living embodiment of a Billy Crystal intro to the Oscars.
That is the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
That's wild. All right. What did you do? Obscure cultural reference?
Yes,
Is that what I'm doing now?
That's what you're doing, yes.
I forgot what I'm even doing here. All right. Here's the obscure cultural reference. Your family's willingness to debate topics at the dinner table rather than speak plainly about their lives and their feelings, that is keeping everyone at a safe distance from their own emotions. And perhaps you have inherited that to a degree, and so you feel more comfortable talking to people about hypothetical situations or cultural references or whatever, rather than simply saying, I don't know what an actuary does. I'm married to one. Can you explain it to me? Bailiff Monty Belmonte, please swear them in.
Tyler Durden and Abby Normal,
No.
please rise and raise your right hands. Now, leave the gun, take the cannoli. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, even though you can't handle the truth? So help you, David Lynch, or whatever?
I do.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you swear to abide by Judge John Hodgman's ruling, despite the fact that a copy of Pitch Perfect 2 starring John Hodgman, which John Hodgman gave me himself, is the Blu-ray that we use to test our projection equipment at the monthly double feature movie night called Cinema Storm that we have at the Shea Theater in Turners Falls? Shameless plug.
Yes.
Yes.
Judge Hodgman, you may proceed.
Abby and Tyler, you may be seated. Hey, Abby and Tyler, you want to just go get like a cup of coffee or something at this point? Because I feel like the podcast is over.
That was amazing.
I think
I'm not following a lot of what's going on right now.
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
High art.
Yeah, wowie. Wowie McGowie. And by the way, super editor AJ McKeon, keep all that stuff about Billy Crystal in at the top. In fact, edit none of this because this is a fun reunion show. And not only do I get to reune with the regular J Squad, Jennifer Marmer and Daniel Spear and Annie Lopez and AJ McKeon and all of our friends at Maximum Fun, but also guest bailiff Monty Belmonte is back again for an autumnal visit. How's your cozy goth going, Monty? How's your autumn going so far?
So far, so good. The colors are lovely. Got a little bit of rain this last week, which we needed.
What's the foliage like in Western Mass right now? Western Massachusetts, where you live.
I'm going to say, early to mid-October is going to be peak. So there's some beautiful things, depending on when you're listening to this. But yeah, I'm looking forward to even more beautiful colors, but there are some beautiful colors already out.
You want to check out those beautiful leaves, go to Monty Belmonte country out there in Turners Falls, Western Massachusetts. Go see a show at the Shea. Go listen to Monty every afternoon on New England Public Media. The Fabulous 413 is the radio program. If you don't know who Monty is, we'll be talking a little bit more to him and about him later. But now let's get into the case. Welcome back to the show. As I say, this is not just a reunion for me and Monty, but this is a repeat. You are repeat offenders here in the court of Judge John Hodgman. And so I ask you, you know the score. How do you win? Well, you guess the obscure cultural reference. If you can, which one of you will get an immediate summary judgment by guessing the obscure cultural reference? Abby, you bring the case. So let's throw it to Tyler first.
Okay, so it sounds familiar, but I feel like I just watched something with this in it, but I can't remember. So I'm gonna use one of my.
Well, what did you watch most recently?
Most recently, I did watch The Blood of a Poet last night.
The Blood of a Poet.
Yep.
I've never heard of it. What is it?
It's sort of like a surrealist French short film. I think they're called Soundies.
You know 30 Rock is on, right?
Well, okay, so if we want
that show.
the last thing that most people have seen, this is not like a shameless plug, it was Dicktown.
Well
done.
So my
I like it.
I thought I was gonna bring this in, but it's my favorite episode. So it's season 1, episode 2. I believe it's called The Maybe Boyfriend.
The Mystery of the Maybe Boyfriend. Co-starring Anna Akana, the internet sensation and incredible talented actress and comedian. And David Reese, of course, my co-creator of Dicktown. Which is available even as we speak on Hulu. If you canceled your Disney Plus and Hulu bundle in support of Jimmy Kimmel, guess what? So did I, but I allow you now to resubscribe.
He's ruled for all of America now.
Based on what's happened as of this recording, Jimmy Kimmel is back, and I think that it's fair enough to watch Dicktown if you must, and indeed you must. So I'm putting your guess down as season 1, episode 2, The Mystery of the Maybe Boyfriend, and I'm writing it down right here. Everyone can see it on the YouTube that I wrote it down. Good job, Tyler. Abby, what's your guess?
I believe it's a quote from our last appearance on this podcast.
From your last appearance on what was the clue? The fact that I referred to someone as an actuary, which indeed you are one?
That was a big giveaway.
Yeah.
And it felt familiar, and I tend to remember things from
It felt familiar.
my own experience.
Didn't seem like it was from a surreal French film, The Blood of the Poet,
No.
Or Dicktown.
Episode of Dicktown. Let me write that down. I'll just write down our last appearance. You want to get any more specific than that?
I think it's a quote from you to Tyler.
From me to Tyler in your last appearance?
Yeah.
Which would be correct. It was indeed from my verdict.
I did actually just watch that just to make sure I wasn't wearing the same sweater.
Which, in fact, I realize now is absolutely something you can watch and not just listen to, because we are on YouTube at Judge John Hodgman Pod. And Tyler, you are wearing a different outfit. In fact, Daniel Spear, maybe you'll cut in a little picture of what Tyler was wearing last time.
Oh, don't do that.
And there you go. Good to see you both again virtually through these lenses through which we mediate our lives. But Abby, I do need to hear the case. So unless you can tell me what number episode that was or the title.
The title was Cease and Delist.
All right, you got that right.
You're in big trouble.
Episode number.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Oh, thank God. Thought it was going to be over.
Episode number 658, Cease and Delist. Released the 28th of February last year. If you don't know when last year was, look it up. You do the math because we're now in the present. Time moves in one direction. And yet you're back again. Now, Abby, once again, you are seeking justice against Tyler. Before we get into what Tyler did this time, will you refresh my and our listeners and Monty's memory about what the dispute was last time?
Last time, I again brought Tyler to court. He has a habit of making top 5 lists and strongly encouraging people around him to make top 5 lists with him.
That was your conversational gambit, Tyler, which you and your family enjoy doing. Top 5 movies, top 5 episodes of Dicktown on Hulu available now, whatever it might be. And then you would talk about that. And if I remember, Abby, that made you feel put on the spot and like you were, instead of having a conversation, you were being quizzed or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And What did I? That was from my verdict. So I think I was leaning into ruling in your favor, if my memory serves. Did I do that, Abby?
I came out ahead at the end of the day.
Good. And Tyler, have you abided by my ruling and toned down the top 5 list requests from Abby?
I have. I don't think I've asked any top 5 lists for, or even really referenced any to you this year.
No, you shared yours, which was allowed.
Oh,
the
good.
ruling.
All right.
But both the letter and the spirit of law have been observed. Abby, would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So you're not trying to sneak in some double jeopardy on Tyler here and getting me to retry him on this thing. You have a new dispute.
Yes, it's a new dispute.
With your husband, correct? Your husband.
Correct.
Okay, so Abby, what did Tyler do this time that brings him back into court?
He is an obsessive physical media collector.
Wait a minute, you're telling me that the guy who insists that everyone come up with their top 5 movies also a guy who hoards DVDs?
I'm a unique flower. Thank you.
Which is to say, a guy? Okay. Tyler has a lot of physical media. What are we talking about? DVDs, laser discs, Blu-rays, steel books, steel cases. What are they called? I don't know. 4Ks?
I think primarily Blu-rays and some DVDs.
I have some 4Ks as well. Yeah. Mostly like Criterion movies, I guess, if we want to go hyper specific.
Yeah, let's get hyper specific. It's the soul of hyper narrative.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, mostly Blu-rays, 4Ks, some DVDs for like the old monster movies. Yeah.
I have a list here that is supplied to us. We'll call it Exhibit A of the movies. All movies or also TV shows?
Those are just the movies. Yeah.
So just the movies.
Yeah.
Because you are so kind and so frankly predictable to put it into a spreadsheet, I can easily see that you have listed 451 films, 451 titles that you have on physical media. Is that correct?
That is correct. And spreadsheet is my love language to Abby, so I thought it would only be right.
That's right. Okay, that's cool. And you have it arranged, it would seem here, alphabetically by director first name. Interesting categorization.
Yeah, that is.
Technique.
I'm still like an English major, so I'm still learning this Excel stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Here's it. So when I look at the top 5 here, this is not necessarily your top 5 movies, just happens to be that they were directed by Agnes Varda, Akira Kurosawa, and Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah.
Number 1 is movies, because you're using the title, the heading is the first cell there.
Just so I don't forget.
Then Cleo from 5 to 7, High and Low, recently remade by Spike Lee as Highest to Lowest. Is that what it's called?
I believe so, yeah.
Right. Rashomon, honored by this podcast as Rashomon years ago. Sanjuro, Seven Samurai. These are all good movies. Yojimbo, of course. That's a Kurosawa. Excuse me. My mistake. What would you say are your top 5 movies in here?
So I actually wrote those down. They kind of switch a lot.
Sure.
Based off, but Doctor Strangelove is always pretty much number one.
I thought you were about to say Doctor Strange, which, is a fine movie.
Yeah.
It's like, a wild card. Okay.
Some Like It Hot is always
Doctor
really high.
Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Title. And then you said what? Pitch Perfect 2?
Yeah, Pitch Perfect 2. Just your scene, really, in that one. Mystery Train. By
Jim Jarmusch. Huh. Okay.
M by Fritz Lang is the next one.
M by Fritz Lang is a classic with Peter Lorre. Saw that one in Monty. I saw that one in college.
Wow.
And then I would say the 5th one is The Executioner. It's a Spanish film.
Don't know that one at all.
Me either.
451 movies. Do you have any TV shows?
I do.
Do you have any box sets of Psych?
We do. We both have. Yeah, we do.
Just wondering. It was just a random question that I asked.
Okay.
Abby, do you? All of this is marital property, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
Would you say that Psych, your box set of Psych? I've seen. In a moment we're going to look at some photos of your Blu-ray hoard, and it includes a box set of Psych. So I knew that ahead of time.
Oh,
yeah. I'm not myself a Psych. Although I think that show's about a fake psychic, right? Isn't it about a fake psychic? Abby, do you love Psych? Is it the best show of all time or what?
I love Psych.
All right.
I have a ruling that I don't have to make top 5 lists anymore, though. So I'm just going to leave it at I love Psych.
Yeah, no. I was just wondering if that's do you have any physical media in your house that you like too, or is it all Tyler? I guess is what I mean to say.
No, there's ones that I enjoy as well, and there's DVDs that I would argue are my DVDs and not Tyler's.
Oh.
Which is one of the reasons I said that the way I did, because that's really, she bought that was her set, but I really love that show as well.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you have some DVDs of your own. Are they on this list of 451?
No.
Okay, that's a separate list. Got it. Okay. I'm not going to ask you to make a top 5 list of them.
Thank you.
Do you need, Abby, more than you need your 451 Blu-rays?
Oh, yeah.
And yet your 451, good answer, by the way. And yet your 451 Blu-rays are important to you, correct?
Yes, very.
What does it mean to you to have all of your 451 favorite movies available on physical media at all time?
Lots of things. So I guess there's lots of like memories I have collected with them because Abby gifts them to me so often. So I have like countless memories of Christmases, romantic just surprises, things like just thinking about you kind of gifts that like really whenever I watch them,
that's interesting.
They're tied to me with that.
Yeah, okay. So I get it. You know, your collection of films connects you to your memories, whether it's a gift from Abby or your generational memory of an obscure Italian fishing technique. What's your point of view, Abby?
I think it's great that he has these, and I can recognize that they mean a lot to him. And a very small handful means something to me as well. But I don't want to keep them after he dies.
And that's what this is about. You're looking forward to your husband's death and what to do with his stuff afterwards. Not looking forward to, but looking ahead.
Planning.
You're both young.
Plotting.
I mean, well, you are an actuary, right? I mean, that's
I am.
Right? Yeah, by profession and training, right?
Yeah.
And remind me and listeners and Monty Belmonte what an actuary does.
Because I actually don't know.
Oh boy. That one's on me, everybody.
You walked right into that one.
I said I did. I walked right into it. Yep.
We use tables to make predictions about when populations of people are going to have certain things occur to them.
And so, you know, actuaries, you know, you make macro predictions about what's going to happen to various populations, including lifespan.
Yes.
For the purpose of determining an insurance premiums, right?
Yep.
Typically, right? Okay, got it. So you are a planner, a header by trade.
Yes.
All right. But your health is good. Tyler's health is good. He's not.
Yeah. This
is not a bucket list second appearance on the podcast.
No.
Okay, good.
Hopefully we're talking about very far into the future.
And you sent in a photo, Abby, of we'll call it Exhibit B, of this collection of Blu-rays and DVDs and such, right?
Yes.
You too, listener and viewer, will be able to review this photo on our social media as well as on our show page at MaximumFun.org. Or you might be looking at it right now if you're watching us on YouTube. Our channel is called Judge John Hodgman Pod. All right, I'm seeing here 2 bookcases, or I guess they are purpose-built DVD/Blu-ray cases. Tyler, you want to describe what I'm looking at here?
So it's a handmade bookcase by my lovely mother-in-law.
Oh, nice.
And it contains a large collection of Criterion Blu-rays, 4Ks, and some just general DVDs, as well as some of our books.
Yes, I saw that copy of Vacationland Facing Forward.
Prominently featured.
You know, Monty will take a bribe to talk about Alf on this podcast.
Yes, I will.
Judge John Hodgman, like the Doughboys, can't be bought. But thank you for having a copy. I have 2 photos here. One is of these bookshelves, which do not merely contain DVDs, but as you pointed out, also some books.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see a photo with just a few items, 2 shelves with a few items, one of which is the aforementioned box set of Psych, as well as the complete a David Suchet Poirot collection. Also, you got some Nero Wolfe there, but I don't see. Is there a photo
might be
missing?
So in the upper corner, there should also be. It might look really generic, like almost like a upper left corner. There should be like a Criterion top 40. Their top 40 films, and then there's an Ingmar Bergman collection of 50 of his films. So
all in that one little Criterion box.
Those two Criterion boxes. Yep.
The CC40, that's 40 films on that
40,
one box?
Yep. And art and essays.
Well, this all seems fairly self-contained, Abby. You're not concerned about living with these things. You're only concerned about what to do with them after death. Is it that they are clutter to you, Abby?
Yeah, primarily.
Current clutter or post-death clutter? In other words, are they currently clutter to you, or do you only foresee them becoming clutter once they are disconnected from Tyler's mortal body?
Yeah, I foresee them becoming clutter once there is no one around who will appreciate them.
When you walk by this bookshelf now, and let's face it, any collection of DVDs or CDs looks like garbage. Sorry. Even if you sneak some books in there, any collection of books looks pretty good. But any collection of DVDs and Blu-rays looks pretty bad. Do you disagree with me, Monty, on that?
I do. Yeah, I think books look good and DVDs and Blu-rays look good.
I mean, I'm not against them. People love their physical media for a lot of reasons, which I'm sure Tyler will talk about in a moment. But, I mean, this is not egregious. I'll say this to you, Abby. In fact, I'm not even sure I believe that there are 451 separate titles in these bookshelves. Am I seeing everything here, Tyler?
So in those bookshelves, there's also, if you look at the bottom, the movies that don't look quite as good in their cases, I put into like a little sleeve, like one of those classic car when you used to have CDs.
Oh,
in your
yeah.
car. One of those is at the very bottom.
It's on the floor.
And that's about, and that's about like 100 films in that one. There. So, yeah, I mean, they're compact. They're compact because I also don't like clutter. I would like to also put out there that we have a library. So Abby has roughly how many books would you guess?
Probably about 200.
About 200 books in a library. So it's
You're not talking about a public library. You're talking about a room in your home.
In a room, it's our bar and library area.
Yeah.
And so I'm not. The case isn't like I'm forcing Abby to like give up really space to satisfy my lust for movies. It's an equal, fairly balanced, I think, amount of physical media, both in books and movies.
Right. And to be clear here, Abby, you're not suggesting that Tyler get rid of any of this stuff in life.
No.
It's not intolerable when you walk past this bookshelf, right? You're not gritting your teeth going, ugh.
No.
And Tyler, you're not bringing up Abby's book collection in order to both sides this and say, see, I'm perfectly normal and she's the wrong one and I want to get rid of all these books. No. I have 451 movies, which happens to be the precise degree Fahrenheit at which books burn.
Oh, wow.
According to the book and movie for Fahrenheit 451. You're not suggesting that you're going to become, what's the name of that main character in Fahrenheit 451? Guy? He's got a funny name that Ray Bradbury came up with.
Not pulling it out.
I want to say Yves Montand.
It's Alf.
No, it's not Alf.
Guy Montag?
Guy Montag.
Oh, Guy Montag. Yeah, see.
Or maybe it's Guy. Yeah.
Look at that guy.
You don't want to Guy Montag Abby's library either, right?
No.
You guys love each other and everything's fine. It's just the problem is what to do with these things after the inevitable happens. Tyler, what do you want to have done with these? If you were to predecease Abby, what would you ask her from beyond the grave to do with these DVDs? I'm just going to call them DVDs. I know that they're Blu-rays or 4Ks or whatever. I'm just an old person, so forgive me.
I would ideally like her to keep them and honestly watch them, because the way I do movies is I rarely ever do I like do any research into them unless maybe I saw them in a theater or you know, I will go out and buy a random movie just based off of mood, like what looks kind of good, what flashes out to me. And I've found that I really enjoy almost everything that I've gotten, and that like it's kind of like really affected me in a profound way. Kind of like, you know, like when I read books that you've recommended, those have always like been really great to me, and they've really like connected me, I think, more with you. So what my hope is like, if I'm gone, if you're missing me, you can pull down something like, I don't know, Bull Durham, and just like and remember like, oh, like Tyler like really didn't like baseball. I loved baseball, but then he watched this movie and suddenly found sort of like a passion for it, or found a connection with it.
Abby, it sounds to me like Tyler, should he unfortunately predecease you, merely wants you to keep his collection and to wear black for the period of time it would take you to watch all of his movies in his collection and remember him each time for different reasons. Why do you not want to do this?
So we've seen the pictures of how much space they take up. So it's really not that big of a deal to actually have them, even though he's not around anymore. I won't watch them.
By the way, 451 movies at roughly 90 minutes per. That's 676 hours. So if you were watching these movies 24 hours a day without sleep, which, I mean, that is the standard morning procedure for a movie buff, it would only take you 28 days to get of watching the movies to get to thoroughly memorialize Tyler and his collection.
It's called sitting cinema. It's like Shiva, but it's for movies.
And then 28 days later, when you're done watching them, you'll walk outside and discover that society has collapsed due to a aggression virus.
I would love if those movies went to someone who would appreciate them. For example, our niece and soon-to-be-born nephew.
Abby, you say that you do like some movies, and indeed, you also made a spreadsheet. Abby's movie list, it says here, these are movies that you are willing to keep.
Yes.
That you like, that are in the collection already.
Correct.
These are all good movies. What you want? These are ones that are in the collection that you'd be willing to keep.
Yes.
I noticed, by the way, that you not only did you make a spreadsheet, but it has 3 columns. I just noticed column C. So there's movies, director, and then reasoning as to why you would keep them. And the reasons are, and these are, I see these are organized by reasoning.
Yes.
Your top 2, Arsenic and Old Lace and Paper Moon, reasoning, because of me. We'll get back to that in a moment. Your next 2, The Great Dictator in Paris is Burning, feels important, self-explanatory. I like that you put some I guess homework in your top 5. And then the next whole bunch is just I like it, all the way to Grand Budapest Hotel. Oh, there's Dr. Strangelove. There you guys agree on that one.
Yep.
And then your final 2 are High Sierra and the wonderful silent comedy Hundreds of Beavers that I've talked about on this podcast before. Those are want to see it, and the rest are all special memory. I love this list, Abby, I must say.
Thank you.
Do you have a list of movies that you are ready to throw away?
Yes.
Oh, did you submit that list, or you just have them off the top of your head?
It was a different tab of that same spreadsheet.
Oh, excuse me.
Here we go.
There it is.
Oh, do not keep.
And there are 441 of them. No. Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Uh-oh.
There's
Uh-oh. Whoa. Wow.
This is all news to me.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's a hurtful list.
You haven't seen this particular spreadsheet?
I haven't seen either of
Tyler, you may find this one less arousing.
Yes.
There are some, they say kill your darlings in writing. The little turns of phrases and the little things that you love the most. Sometimes those are the things you need to cut out. But there are a lot of darlings here. Boy, oh boy. You're going to tell me you're going to get rid of Miller's Crossing, one of my very favorite movies. I also just rewatched it.
Yeah.
Godfather Part 2, Godfather Part 3, all 3. You didn't put the
Yeah.
special edition in there?
Coda?
There's like over 9 hours of special features in that case.
But I got to tell you this right now. You want to hear some of the other ones that Abby wants to get rid of?
I really do, because now I'm really... Miller's Crossing I thought was a safe one, so now I'm very surprised.
No, Miller's Crossing is on the chopping block at number 9. Top 5 Abby throwaway movies. Grab onto the table. Counting down from number 6, Seven Samurai in the garbage.
Oh, that's just spiteful.
Seven Samurai. Number 5, going in the garbage. Office Space, starring maybe a distant cousin of mine, Stephen Root. Never was able to figure that out.
Interesting.
Number 4, Gone with the Wind. Next up in the garbage, Wages of Fear, Henri Georges Clouzot.
Love that movie.
And number 2 with a bullet, and we'll stop there, Wizards by Ralph Bakshi. It just so happens.
So sad.
Things just got real.
Okay. There's so many stories of anger in that list now that I think about.
Tell me all about it, Tyler.
So, was Wages of Fear the one that I like? So whenever my parents come over, we always watch a movie, carry on that tradition I spoke of earlier. And Wages of Fear was one that I put on, and they usually come over for Thanksgiving, so I'm cooking dinner. And we put that on because I thought it was a really good one. Is this the one that before it was done, I was like, I have a huge migraine, and I went to bed?
We were not halfway through that movie when you decided you didn't need to be watching it anymore.
So I just had the biggest migraine, and I had to go lay down. And then I kind of didn't think about how much that narrative might not be the funnest one to sit and watch with the in-laws.
That's like a long, tense movie that you can't even nap through because it's too tense.
Well, I also couldn't nap because earlier that day I had hurt my back. So I
I'm
was
sorry to hear that.
alternating between a heating pad and an ice pack.
But let's talk about Wizards
Not
for a second.
Yeah.
Because we've already described this film. Abby, is there a particular reason that you don't care for Wizards by Ralph Bakshi?
Well, I couldn't make it through the whole movie. Not napping.
Very-
I had to leave. It was
Very strange and disturbing movie. And like a lot of Ralph Bakshi,
Yes.
tonally and pace-wise, it's very hard to get a beat on that movie.
Yeah.
But I also know that this is on a list of most treasured movies, not just because of your connection to your dad and the past, Tyler, but also because it's a rare edition, right?
It is a rare edition. So, you can watch it on Amazon by paying for it, but those get switched around so often, and it feels like one of those where people are like, "Who's gonna miss this weird cartoon made by this strange cartoonist?" That's maybe a bit anti what our government is right now. But if you see pretty much any of them online to buy, they're either going to be only ones that can be played out of the country, different region code, or they are black market forgeries that are actually, if you get them and put them in your DVD player, are Working Woman. The movie.
Say it again.
Is it?
You buy
Working
Wizards,
Girl?
but then it plays Working
It's-
Woman.
Yeah, it's basically they just put over the DVD Working Girl.
Working Girl.
Working Girl.
Oh, Working Girl.
They put over Working Girl a fake sticker that says Wizards on it, and you put it in your DVD player, and it's just that. So I got
That's insidious.
I got my copy off of eBay.
Wait, I just want to clarify what I'm hearing here.
Yeah.
You're saying that there is a black market trend.
Mhm.
It's hard to get a copy of a legit copy of Ralph Bakshi's animated weirdo film Wizards,
Mhm.
and that there's a black market trend that sometimes, more than once, if you buy Wizards, it says Wizards on it, but when you press play, it's the American comedy Working Girl starring Melanie Griffith and Sigourney Weaver and Harrison Ford.
Correct. You can go on Amazon right now. There was a poor gentleman who uploaded his video, and it's a very sad picture of a man's hand putting in this DVD, putting it on, and then it's Working Girl.
Well, it's got that Carly Simon song. Let the river meet.
Mhm.
Ma. By the way, that's impossible to stream, that song. I've tried many a time. Yeah. Well, many a time at 2:00 in the morning when I'm remembering my youth and I want to hear that song.
If only you bought a copy of Wizards, then you could just play the song.
I want to know who is it out there who is doing this. This is like beyond Rick rolling. It's such a specific population of people that you're pranking when you swap Working Girl for Wizards, and it's so random, and yet they're both W movies. I find this fascinating. But so when you think of, all right, you've passed away, I hope, many, many years from now, peacefully in your sleep. And the first thing Abby does the next day is finds that copy of Wizards and Wages of Fear and Office Space and Seven Samurai and Miller's Crossing and all 41 Ingmar Bergman movies is on this list. And To Catch a Thief, which is a lesser Hitchcock. But they're all going in the trash. When you think about that, how does that make you feel?
It's devastating.
So to clarify, Abby does not want to throw away the movies on the do not keep list. She merely wants to redistribute them to people in your life that she thinks might enjoy them more than she. Why do you resist this plan, Tyler?
Well, so I have like maybe 2 friends who are very big movie buffs, and they have started families, they have limited space, and I have this concern where if she was like next, like at the funeral or like when we're bequeathing things, says like, okay, well, here's Richard, like 250 movies that Tyler really wants you to have. I don't think most people's thoughts are like, oh, I'll always remember him. It might be like, this is a burden. Where do I find room to keep all these movies? Because like you said, like thinking about like 400 movies, you assume it's like a giant library's worth of movies. And my concern is they'll take them and then they'll give them away or they'll sell them. And those movies will
in other words, you don't want to be a burden to your friends. You just want to be a burden to your wife.
Cherished memories to the wife. And, there's also the idea she pushed by me donating to the public library, which I actually don't mind as much the more I think about it. But my fear, again, is that people often disrespect property of libraries. They don't take very good care of them. It's just a little like it's harder. Books are easier to take care of than like movies are. Movies get a scratch might not work. And so I'm just worried about I guess I'm worried about where they'll end up in the end. That's just
they're all going to end up in a landfill eventually.
No.
I mean, eventually, right? So why not be buried with them? Make your grave their landfill.
So that was another thing I put by her is building a monument to me in some kind of way. We're thinking Nicolas Cage pyramid, bury me with all my movies. But that seems kind of maybe extreme. I don't know. I wouldn't get rid of any of your books if you died. I'd keep every single one of them.
Which is your choice.
My choice.
How many books do you have, Abby?
I think about 200.
About 200? Abby, Tyler says that he's going to keep and cherish your books. Should you predecease him? Is that okay with you, or do you have another plan for them?
If that's what he wants, that's fine with me, because I will be dead and won't care anymore.
Right.
I feel like he's not going to appreciate the books as well as other people in my life might. But if he wants them, that's fine with me.
If you wanted to bequeath books to certain people, or I'm actually be posing this to Tyler. If Abby said, well, actually, I want to, if I should pass away before you, please send Baseball Murder and Discworld to John Hodgman. Don't keep them. Would you honor her wishes?
I'm a big fan of yours. That might be very, very shocking. So if it was, drop these books off to John Hodgman, he's waiting for them, I'd be like, oh, okay, oh no, okay, yeah. But if it was, it depends. Some of the books I would be much more hurt about than others.
Well, let's take me out of the equation.
Yes, let's do that.
If she doesn't want you to keep her books, or she has other plans for them, and she makes that clear to you, would you honor her wishes? You're asking her to honor your wishes, so why is this a hard question to answer?
It's not a hard question. I would honor your wishes. Of course, I'd honor your wishes.
All right.
Yeah.
So why can't you honor Tyler's wishes, Abby?
Wow. if that is really what he wants most in the world, I would honor that. I just think that what he wants is wrong.
I love you so much.
Abby, you're an actuary. Obviously, you're a practical-minded person. Do you have a will?
Yeah, Abby, do we have a will?
We don't have a will. No.
Oh, okay. Life insurance?
Yes.
Okay. You don't have a will currently. Neither of you.
No.
Either as a joint couple or individually.
We do not.
All right. Interesting. Abby, would you be willing to pretend that you're going to honor Tyler's wishes until he's dead, in which case then you'll just do whatever you want?
Are you asking would I lie to him until he dies?
Yes.
I like to think I wouldn't.
Wasn't that part of your vows?
It's not far off.
Don't think I would lie to him until he dies. I think if the ruling today is that I have to keep all of Tyler's movies, I would agree to that and not back out on it after he dies.
Got it. I see. Thank you for your honesty. Now I know I can trust you. Tyler, I want to ask you again. Abby's desire is to bequeath all, or at least some, of your movies to people in your life who might enjoy them more than her. There's got to be someone out there who likes the movie Wizards who would cherish this rare non-working girl copy of that. Why is it not sufficient for her? Or why does it bother you, this idea of her distributing some of your precious memories?
I think it is just, I'm more of a romantic than she is, I guess. She hasn't offered up a very good list of people either, which is kind of a problem. Like, she's just said, there's Richard and maybe your brother. And I know my brother really wouldn't. He's a very minimalist person with his house. I want to make sure, and this is maybe sounds a bit petty. I want to make sure that she. Oh boy, this sounds petty.
Go on.
We're gonna say it. I want to make sure she's thinking of me when I'm gone.
You want to make sure she's thinking of you when you're gone. Abby, you would like me to rule that Tyler maintain a list of his physical media and assign each title to someone in his life to whom it may be bequeathed. In other words, make a will, make a movie will. Is that correct?
Correct.
But that's what you would want me to rule.
Yes.
Is that Tyler figure out who are the people who would actually benefit and would enjoy having this memory of him?
Yes.
And assign it in advance. In other words, make a damn will.
Yeah. And the first priority for our will is going to be the movie collection.
Yeah, that's the first priority. Good idea.
That seems fine.
Yeah.
I have, by the way, a little while ago, he said that I have only given him 2 names of people that he could give movies to, and that's incorrect.
Richard and his brother.
Yeah. So I'm assuming he's going to live a little while, and therefore his hour.
You've consulted the tables.
I've looked. He's not a smoker.
Good.
Our niece and nephew at some point will be old enough to take care of movies. I think once we know what their personalities are going to turn into, they are also great candidates to get some movies. We have other friends besides Richard who we go to see movies with, such as Brooke.
Oh, yeah.
Brooke requested that she could be on the list if you make one.
Okay.
But I think there are plenty of other people in our lives that he could bequeath movies to. And I'm willing to be a name on the list as long as it's reasonable and thoughtful.
He's got a list of 26 movies that you are willing to keep to begin with. So,
yeah, he can start from there. Yeah.
Tyler, you want me to order that Abby keep all of your movies or do something that is in memory of you?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have in mind in the in memory of you option?
This idea, we already discussed maybe a bit of this, and she kind of pointed out it didn't work, but I'd still like to try. And this is weird, but give a movie or take a movie kind of thing. Do something with that which I guess now that I say that out loud, though,
What do you
that's
mean
just
give a movie or take a movie?
So do you know those little libraries?
Yes, I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, sorry. So
Many a copy of Vacationland has been discovered in those.
If it was something like the library or like a give or take a book that was like something that specifically was like, this was donated by Tyler, that like, Abby could go back to and like still have access to, like if she wanted, like if she just for some reason was like, I remember, one of these movies that he was always going on about and could go back and get it and watch it. That would be a good alternative, I think, if I was trying to do like a middle ground.
Mm-hmm. I think I've heard everything I need to in order to make my decision. I'm going to go into my personal Criterion closet, which is just my closet full of old magazine clippings. I'll be back in a moment with my verdict.
Please rise as Judge John Hodgman exits the courtroom. Tyler, you have been letterboxed in by Abby with this shocking list of films that she actively would like to get rid of. And while I had originally thought I was 100% in Abby's camp, not that it matters what the bailiff thinks, the look on your face when you heard the movies she wants to get rid of, my heart went out to you. How are you feeling right now, Tyler?
I think no matter what I take away from this, I need to have more conversations with her about the movies we watch and if she's actually enjoying them. I thought I asked that enough, and clearly, hopefully I haven't been torturing you too much.
And Abby, it seems like the betrayal is on your part and that you're acknowledging that there's a sense of betrayal here. It is something that you have betrayed your precious Tyler.
Coming into this, I thought I had a more shoe-in case.
No, I think you still do, actually, frankly. But I mean,
okay,
it really did
good.
break that poor man's heart. If only you'd remembered your vows to lie to him until death do you part.
Yeah, that would have been helpful.
Well, we'll see what the judge has to say about all this when we come back in just a moment.
Monty, we're taking a break from the case. Let's talk about Monty's march.
Yes, it is a march to raise money for the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts. And with the federal budget cuts to programs like SNAP, people who don't know where the next meal is coming from are going to need more help. And so this will be the 17th time that I have pushed an empty shopping cart as a symbol of hunger from Springfield, Massachusetts to Greenfield, Massachusetts, 43 miles to raise money and awareness for the Food Bank of Western Mass. And it's happening on Monday and Tuesday, November 24th and 25th, Thanksgiving week. Our U.S. Congressman, Jim McGovern, goes the entire 43 miles with us, as do school groups and individuals and people of all stripes. We will be honoring the icons of public broadcasting who also have experienced major cuts this year. And I will be dressing up as Ernie from Sesame Street, as well as Mr. Rogers.
You're dressing up as Ernie one day and then Mr. Rogers the next day?
Yeah, because it's 2 days we do it. Yeah.
Who's going to be your Bert?
There's a guy named Sean Barry who is always the person who helps me while I'm trying to broadcast and push a shopping cart. It's difficult. So he helps me navigate the cart while I'm doing all that other stuff. So he'll be my Bert.
If you are in Springfield and want to walk to Greenfield from field to field, you can join Monty. But if you prefer to join Monty virtually, you can do so by going where, Monty?
Foodbankwma.org. Foodbankwesternmass.org.
Foodbankwesternmass.org. Yeah, there are a lot of budget cuts across a lot of different things that we value and thought would never go away. Public media being a big part of that. I would just remind people to support your local public media, including weru.org up there in Orland, Maine, or Maine Public Broadcasting, or wherever there is public broadcasting in your world, including New England Public Media, where Monty has a show every afternoon. Isn't that right?
That's
Monty?
right. The Fabulous 413, where we talk about solely things that are going on in the 4 counties of Western Mass. It's at nepm.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
And me, I'm Judge John Hodgman. You listen to me here every week on the Judge John Hodgman podcast. You also can see the Judge John Hodgman columnette. It's a little tiny column, like a columnella in the New York Times Magazine. And as well, as mentioned earlier in this show, I'm the co-creator with David Reese of the cartoon Dicktown, which is a good PG-13 cartoon that is still available on Hulu for now. If you have resubscribed to Disney Plus or Hulu, you can go check it out. Go to bit.ly/Dicktown, all capital letters, DICKTOWN, or simply search Dicktown in Google. You'd be surprised to learn it goes to our show. I certainly was surprised.
I learned this the hard way.
A true labor of love. So thank you very much for supporting us in all the ways that you do as Maximum Fun members, as listeners, as viewers on YouTube, as watchers of Dicktown. And of course, coming out to see that screening of They Live at the Nighthawk Prospect Park was so much fun to see so many of you listeners out there. So thank you as always and forever for all of your support in all your many ways. Hey, let's get back to the case.
Please rise as Judge John Hodgman re-enters the courtroom and presents his verdict.
You may be seated. So I happen to be listening through the door to my chambers, and I want to acknowledge the very interesting and I think revealing fact that when Abby made a list of movies that she doesn't like, that she had to make a note of the fact that she knew this would hurt you, even to contemplate it. I think that you can trust that just as you obviously love Abby very much, she loves you very much. No matter how she disposes of or keeps and cherishes your movies. You know, one thing that is too early for you to be thinking about, but is something that we all do end up having to think about, is end-of-life plans, serious end-of-life plans. You know, my wife is a whole human in her own right, and I were only forced to make a will in our own 30s because a smarter person than I said, "Oh, you have to do it. You have children. You have to make plans. You have to express your wishes." And I was like, I'm in my 30s. I'm going to live forever. Obviously, I knew that that was not true. I look forward to many more years of life and happily wedded life. I am recording this, by the way, on our anniversary.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I enjoy being married to her. But we have adults in our lives, parents, who are sincerely, realistically nearing the end of their lives. And some of them have been very responsible in their end of life planning, and others of them don't believe that they're going to ever die. It is a scary thing to contemplate, even in a sort of lighthearted way as this. But I only mention it because it's important that you acknowledge that our time here is short. It is important that you understand and are able to express your wishes for what you want done in your honor, right? After you have gone, and to have done with your possessions after you have gone, or someone else will be making those decisions. So you're not wrong. And in fact, I actually think you're pretty responsible in a sort of off-kilter way, Tyler, of thinking about this. This is a meaningful collection to you. It is connected to a lot of memories for you, obviously, and you clearly love movies. All of which is to say that I think that your collection has value intrinsically and in context of your life. But I do hear something here, Tyler, that disturbs me a little. And I want you to take that in the spirit in which I mean it. It disturbs me on your behalf a little bit. When Abby, for example, suggested that she give certain videos away to family members who might like them, you kind of expressed some concern that no one will like them the way that you do and the way that you trust Abby to cherish and like them. And I can't believe that that's true, honestly. I like you. I'd take some of these movies off your hands, and I would think very fondly of you. And we've only met twice. You're the only, as far as I know, only second litigants to ever come back on the show. So,
Really?
Yeah. And I believe that if I, a relative stranger, feels this way, that there are many non-strangers and definite relatives who would feel very, very, very happy to have and cherish things that had belonged to you and had meaning to you. And I want you to feel that way too. I don't think your situation is as dire as you present. I could be wrong. And I think that you've probably learned that in life, but I don't think it's to your credit and the strength of your case to be the guy who's like, in death, you must watch and appreciate my movies. I think that that's unrealistic, and I think that that's unfair. I think that, in the unhappy event that you should predecease Abby many, many, many years from now, she's going to be going through a whole lot of grieving. And the memory of you is going to haunt almost everything she touches in your home. Your movies, for sure, but also clothes, a pocket full of change and a pair of pants that never got spent, whatever. It's just going to be awful. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think you need to offer her the grace, as she must offer to you, the grace of grieving in her own way without an enormous homework assignment beyond the legal disposal of all your worldly possessions in general, which is going to be straightened out once you write a will. You know what I mean? Like, I think to give her the burden of watching and appreciating all your movies in death the way she couldn't do it in life because she's got her own taste and her own interests is too much to ask. So my verdict is, you're not wrong, Tyler. And whatever your wishes are, I order Abby to honor them. But I ask this, you have to write a will. Both of you get together with an attorney and get a will together. It's just part of being a grown-up. And in that will, as you approach that will, you make your wishes known and you be open, right? You be open to the idea that Abby, I think, has really thoughtfully suggested, which is there are other people who will want a keepsake of your life. And are there movies that you can give to those people? Or, in the case of your niece and nephew, who will hold wizards in trust for them until they are of age? Or something like that. I think that if you sat down and thought about it, there would be quite a few movies there that you would be able to give to people that would be very meaningful to them. And it might be a meaningful exercise for you to think about those people and those connections. But bequeath rather than curse. Do you know what I mean? Bequeathing of the things that you care about to people who will care about them. And I bet there are institutions and libraries that you think that you would trust to take care of some of these things. I bet you could find homes for a lot of these movies beyond the ones that Abby already admits that she likes and would like to keep. But whatever you do, Abby will honor your wishes, but you have to write it down and you have to give it real thought. Make a will, write down your wishes, consider what I said. This is the sound of a gavel.
What a picture.
Judge John Hodgman rules, that is all.
Please rise as Judge John Hodgman exits the courtroom. Abby, technically, that ruling did not go in your favor, but do you view this as a favorable ruling?
I do. I think the judge is someone that Tyler admires very much, and he said some very kind things, which is always a victory. And at the end of the day, I don't think I'm going to have to keep 500 movies that I have no special feelings for. So that's good.
And Tyler, apart from the fact that Abby broke your heart during the course of this podcast, are you happy with having this ruling ostensibly in your favor?
I am. I think the judge made a lot of really healthy points. You don't want to be a burden. And I like some of the ideas that he shared, like figuring out making more like lists of, talking about lists again, of people, of like happy memories that I shared movies with other people and sharing those with those. And maybe the ones that maybe aren't so special or they're more special to me, having maybe like a celebratory, like come to our house after the funeral and take one and remember Tyler, or we watch them like to celebrate his life. I think those are all like things I should consider, and the will is definitely something we need to get on. I think is a very healthy approach to this situation.
Well, I hope that I am invited to the corporate viewing of The Meg as you are sitting cinema to honor the life of Tyler, Abby. And I know that you need to find somebody to do this will for you, even though you are an actuary. Good luck finding a will. Good will hunting.
Oh, no.
It's been an honor.
No.
Another case in the books. Before we dispense some swift justice, we want to thank Redditor footwear_critic for naming this week's episode Probate a Max Court.
Betamax court. Now, I got to say, we did not talk about Betamax tapes at all. But what other case is there that we would ever even get close to talking about Betamax? So that's why we call it and it has to do with probate court, which is a fun topic.
It's funny how much criticism I get for making puns, but you literally ask all the listeners of Judge John Hodgman to come up with a pun for the name of your episode every time. And well done, footwear_critic. That's a good one.
Hey, we are all hypocrites. Accusing someone else of hypocrisy is juvenile because we are all two-faced.
You can join the conversation over at the Maximum Fun subreddit over at reddit.com/r/maximumfun. We'll be asking for title suggestions of puns there too, so keep an eye out for those. Evidence and photos from the show are posted on our Instagram account at instagram.com/JudgeJohnHodgman. We're also on TikTok and YouTube at Judge John Hodgman Pod. Follow and subscribe to see our episodes and video-only content.
Speaking of YouTube, our YouTube comment of the week comes this week from Complete Walkaround. Complete Walkaround is the name of a user who I believe is a subscriber to our YouTube channel at Judge John Hodgman Pod. And on our recent case, Probable Jaws, Complete Walkaround said, "Wow, glad I stayed for the leg show." And that's true. Jesse Thorne and I did put our legs on main and on camera.
Nice.
In that particular episode, and boy, do we have shapely calves. There's so much fun stuff to see over there on YouTube, so much of the show that you might miss if you're only listening to it. Of course, we love our audio listeners, but it would be wonderful if you wanted to go over to YouTube and like, share, and subscribe, because that is a place where people are discovering new podcasts, and it's great for the show if you're able to go over there and smash those buttons. Judge John Hodgman was created by Jesse Thorne and me, John Hodgman. This episode was engineered by Dusty Weiss at PodCamp Media in the great city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Schlemiel Schlemazel, Hassenpfeffer Incorporated. The podcast is edited by A.J. McKeon. Our video editor is Daniel Spear. And as always, our producer is Jennifer Marmer, the great and powerful.
Woo! Okay, Judge John Hodgman, let's get to some swift justice where we answer your small disputes with a quick judgment. Mod007 on the Max Fun subreddit says, "I would like my husband to wear a V-neck sweater. He won't do it."
Now, look, I understand why some people would not want to ever wear a turtleneck sweater or even a crew neck sweater. I hate things touching my neck. But you know what, Mod 007? I'm not your husband. And if he doesn't want to wear a V-neck sweater, people like what they like, and they wear what they wear. Sorry about that. Wear your own V-neck sweater and look at yourself in the mirror. I bet you look great. Hey, we have an episode coming up with some experts on snacks. Who are these snacking experts? You'll find out. Keep listening. But in the meantime, we need some snack-related disputes. What's the best snack? Salty or sweet? Crunchy or gummy? What's your favorite snack, Monty, when you're snacking? What do you want? Some dried apple rings?
I love Cheez-Its. Just straight up, no special flavor,
Cheez-Its.
extra cheese or anything. Best beach snack. Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its. By the way, I love Pringles.
I do too.
I once ate some Pringles on a beach, and I reached into that canister so hard, I cut the side of my hand, and I still have a scar.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, I love snacks. And I want to hear your disputes over snacks. Indeed, what do you think are the best snack? Even if you got no one to fight against, tell me what you think. The best snack foods, your maximum snacks. Send them in to MaximumFun.org/JJHO. That's where we get all of your disputes. Or email me at hodgman@MaximumFun.org. That's MaximumFun.org/JJHO. Or email me, hodgman@MaximumFun.org. We are eager to hear about all of your disputes, big, small, medium. It's how we make the show go. So please submit your disputes right now to MaximumFun.org/JJHO. We'll talk to you next time on the Judge John Hodgman podcast. Monty Belmonte, thank you so much for being here again, and I hope to see you again in the near future.
It's always a pleasure and an honor. I love doing it so much.
Well, I will talk to you next time in real life, but we'll talk to the rest of you on the Judge John Hodgman podcast.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
supported
directly
by you.